Hi there Scorpio, welcome back to Wild Lotus Tarot. This will be your weekly intuitive tarot reading for July 27th through to August the 2nd. Scorpio, let's draw the cards and see what's in store for you. I'm starting with the Work Your Light Oracle. To get an overarching theme or message, we've got the Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. Yeah, well, I mean, you might have a big purpose in this lifetime, Scorpio, maybe one that you are only just stepping into. It says that you've been training for this for lifetimes. It could mean that, you know, in this lifetime, depending on what you believe, your skills are kind of reaching a climax or coming together in order for you to achieve something that's been written in your path. If you don't believe in that, you know, this really can be a card of evolving, ascending, you know, feeling a lot more connected mentally, spiritually. Let's get a card from the Yogic Path deck. Maybe it's the lifetime that you release a big ancestral burden, a weight, resolve something karmically. Sounds pretty heavy duty there. Exciting though. So let's see what your next message is, Scorpio. Here we go. Mulandara. Yeah, I mean, this is the root chakra, guys, you know, and this is very much to do with our sense of base needs, survival. You know, some of us might have been in a bit of a, you know, fight or flight, a bit of a survival response. Maybe it is due to something that is coming to a head in this lifetime. Yeah, it's really interesting. You know, if you get the Mulandara chakra as a card, it can be the need to really ground yourself this week, really ground in that energy. You can, in your meditation, not medication, hopefully meditation, not medication, you know, really imagine, you know, being earthed into the ground. You can imagine roots actually growing down from, you know, the base of your spine into the earth to really, really ground you. If you are feeling a little bit more sort of swept away in the mind, in the intellect with those fleeting thoughts and those kinds of things. Let's get your tarot cards out, guys. Yeah, just another parting message there with the Mulandara chakra is just to be careful not to be led by the ego, you know, being swept away by that, because we can be, when we're more in that energy, we can be operating more from our, not just from our ego, but also from our primal instincts. I think primal instincts is better than the ego state, but just something to be aware of. So I'm going to go for the tarot now, guys, starting with the position of the recent past. Energies completing, leaving or transitioning in your life, what you might be journeying, the Emperor. Interesting. Well, that, you know, this is a very foundational energy to number 4. So maybe that's what that Mulandara chakra card is telling us, that you're sort of really dealing in the realm of your foundation, your groundedness in your life, your seat of power, coming back into that energy. It's got the red as well. So let's get your current or focus energy, Scorpio. Judgment. Oh, get the clarifiers and see what that's about. But some of you might be, you know, liberating yourself from a situation that has held you back. You're really hearing that wake-up call to move forward in a new direction, to rise above something. And there you go. You'll be the one that's stepping into power here, Scorpio. Feeling grounded again. We've got this theme of, you know, groundedness in this reading. I've got the 8 of Cups that I'm finishing on at the bottom of that deck. Yeah, so there might be a sense of, you know, are you going to stay in a situation, or are you going to move on to wish fulfillment, to the 9 of Cups? Let's clarify the Emperor for you. Here it goes. Oh, I've got 2. I've got the Serenity, which is the Hermit in reverse, and I've got the Chariot. Yeah, so there is a sense of wanting to move forward, but, you know, there is something that maybe that has been holding you back from making that move. Let's clarify the Judgment energy. So we went from 2 major arcana, guys, to 4, just with that clarifier. Four of Cups, another 4, another indication that we're dealing with something very much in your foundation. maybe wanting to build a firmer foundation, Akashic records. Now, whenever I see this card come out, it's an extra major arcana in this particular Starchild Tarot deck. This is my card of predestiny or being written. Now, what we were saying when we talked about the Age of Light Oracle card, you've been training for this for lifetimes. And I mentioned about, you know, maybe it's what it culminates in this particular time. There's a sense that this is the time that something big happens, that you know, there's a judgment or wake-up call for something that might be an ancestral pattern. And it says it's kind of written, and this is the time that it's all playing out. So that very much ties into that. I probably will get another clarifier for that. Sorry guys, I seem to be not being able to speak right at this moment. I will get another clarifier for that. I've got the Page of Cups at the bottom of this deck, which actually fell on the ground before as well. So we'll tune into that energy also. Okay, Scorpio, a few things going on here. What I'm actually noticing, just tuning into the bottom of the deck energies here though, is that on the side here we have the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is an energy where you are leaving an unfulfilling situation in order to seek the missing piece. Now on this side we have the Page of Cups, who holds a single cup. That could be that missing piece that you seek. Now 8 plus 1 equals the Nine of Cups, which is the card of wish fulfillment. So some of you are going after wish fulfillment this week, maybe taking a key step in that. Now the Page of Cups is a creative energy. It's maybe seeing things from a different perspective. It's doing things differently. It's maybe taking the path that you least expected, expecting the unexpected. So it could be that there's a missing piece, or what you're searching for could be found in an unexpected place. So that's kind of an interesting energy there. Now let's start in the recent past. We've got the Emperor, the Hermit in reverse, and the Chariot. So I've got a couple of explanations for this because it is a general reading, guys, and it will relate to your specific situation in different ways. Now with that Hermit in reverse, guys, like this here can be that you maybe have been taking too much time out to reflect, or not enough, or that there has been a forced period of being alone, being left alone, maybe, you know, a separation, trial separation in a relationship, or it could be in the workplace as well, that you've been forced to work on your own or be isolated, and that could be because of the world situation that we see ourselves in here. And we can see that maybe that is a block to you moving forward in some way. So it could be that, you know, if you are in a relationship and taking some time out from each other, that you can't move forward quite now because, you know, you don't sort of know on the other side of this, are we getting back together, are we not? Or, you know, am I just in limbo? There's a sense of being in limbo here. So it's not just going to be for relationships, it can be for work as well, because the Emperor can be a husband energy. It can also be like a boss or mentor, or somebody who's in a position of power, or a position of authority. So what I'm seeing here is that, you know, there is being in limbo potentially with a character like this, which could be an Aries, and it's that limbo state that is stopping you from moving on. And ultimately, you know, you are seeking that wish fulfillment, and I feel like the missing piece lies in a source that where you wouldn't expect it, potentially not with this situation. Now also as an energy, the Emperor is about, you know, moving into a place now where you're shaping your life and not letting the world shape you. The Hermit in reverse for me can also mean a little bit of subtle depression, you know, taking too much time to reflect and too much time in isolation, too much time to ourselves. Sometimes we can start spiraling in our own thoughts, and sometimes we're just not getting enough social interaction, and that can be, you know, that has been imposed on a lot of us at the moment. A lot of us are living on our own with very little social interaction. That can have an impact on our mental health. So that's something else that I'm seeing here. And it's maybe a reminder to, you know, get some interaction if you can, maybe online sort of Zoom calls, or, you know, virtual catch up with your friends and that kind of thing. But the Emperor is it's an indicator to try and come back into the world and start to move your life forward in the way that you desire. The Emperor is an energy of somebody who takes control, who gets back in charge of their life and shapes it the way that they want it, rather than allowing life to happen to them, rather than being a victim of circumstances. if this limbo has been imposed on you, maybe you think about, hey, what do I really want? Actually, I'm getting back in charge, and I'll say, you know, what it is that I want. There's the reminder here to park emotions this week. The Emperor wears the armor under the cloak as a reminder to sometimes we need to make our decisions from a strategic, logical, practical and intuitive place, but not from a place of emotional triggers or reactions, because that's when we sometimes make the knee-jerk decision. So that's the Emperor energy. It's a foundational energy. So is the Muladhara chakra. Got the Four of Cups as well. So whatever you're dealing with, it's something that is foundational in your life. So that usually is, you know, the situations our towers are built on, the Tower of Work, the Tower of Relationship. So there's going to be a test, I feel, to see what is sturdy enough. Is the situation sturdy enough to survive maybe this period of isolation, or this period of being by yourself, or this period of separation? The Chariot, you know, that's an indicator that you are ready to move forward. And I think what you're really seeking is forward movement to a more fulfilling experience for yourself. It is a card of victory, and it is a card of moving on. However, it sort of asks that maybe you may need to leave a place of comfort in order to move on. So there's some sense of security in the situation. The Emperor is a very protecting, providing energy. So you could be in a relationship where financial needs are more easily met through that. And, you know, that can be a big decision to step away from that. The same can be said about a job. You know, that thought of leaving it to maybe pursue a more creative venture can be quite a scary prospect for many, because it's that fear of the unknown that creeps in. The Chariot here moves forward when there is alignment in decision making, when there's clarity. So although we want to go within to seek the clarity and seek the wisdom, like the Hermit, we don't want to spend too long dwelling and overthinking as well. That's the message here. And some of you may have been taking some time to heal and to reconsider things with that Hermit energy as well. But this is the week where it all kind of comes to a head with that Judgment energy, guys. Judgment and Four of Cups. That's the, you know, hearing the angels call. This is the wake up call. Wake up, come back to reality, come out of your hermit mode. Maybe if you are in some kind of isolation or limbo, it's time to sort it out. Can't stay in this limbo for ages or forever, because you want to move forward. Four of Cups indicates that you might be done with this situation, because the Four of Cups shows somebody who has pulled their energy back, has maybe through this time of apart or in isolation realized that maybe that situation wasn't such a good fit after all. Maybe there just wasn't all the pieces. Maybe that person just wasn't meeting you emotionally or physically or intellectually. On one level, they weren't meeting you. The job, was it really what you wanted to do? Was it your calling? Was it your life purpose? Do you think it was written for you in this life? These are the considerations I see you making. But the Four of Cups kind of shows that maybe you've sort of realized that it's not worth it after all. There's a bit of a sense of withdrawal, apathy, maybe even boredom about the situation. And it shows you kind of in that state, maybe this person is trying to reconnect with you this week, but I think you've kind of already moved away. You've kind of had the realization that maybe you've outgrown this. I think you've realized that the situation was keeping you small, stuck or confined in some way, because you're ready to liberate yourself, Scorpio. The Judgment energy is about rising above the smallness, what's held you back, the limitations, and there's a sense that the situation is part of that limitation. So it's time to come back out in the world like these people here. No matter how vulnerable you feel, you might feel stripped. Often when we release a situation that's so pivotal like this, so foundational in our life, we can feel like we've lost a part of our identity. We can feel naked. That's only a momentary thing though, guys, and that will pass. But Judgment is the, you know, hear the call. It's time to make a decision. It is the card of second chances. Is there something to be salvaged here? Can you forgive and forget? Or is it time to be the charioteer and move on? There's a lot of karmic link to the Judgment card. You know, it is the energy that comes before the World and the Major Arcana, and the World is the final step in this journey, the cyclic journey of life. It says that you're one step before potentially closing out a really big cycle, and I'm feeling like it could be a pattern that's been brought down through the ancestral line with the other energies that I'm seeing here. So it could be a repeated pattern that you've played out in relationships, a repeated pattern of self-sabotage in the workplace, or accepting roles that undermine you or don't pay you what you're worth or whatever. You're now stepping into Emperor. It's time for me to call the shots and actually get what I want in life again. That's the Judgment energy. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in this situation, or are you going to move it to cyclic completion, World energy? Right, now in your near future outcome energy, guys, King of Cups and Akashic Records. Yeah, well, I think I'm going to read these three together. Akashic Records, as I mentioned before, predestiny. This is written for you. You're completing some kind, or getting ready to complete some kind of big cycle in your life. And with the Eight of Cups energy, look, I feel like you are preparing to move on in this situation. You know, moving on doesn't always mean leaving a partner, lover, or job, but it can mean that a fundamental change needs to be made. There has to be a peace reclaimed here. Now, this is you here, Scorpio, grounded. You're in Emperor mode, you're in King of Cups mode. I really feel that this is the week that you're going to feel balanced emotionally. Even if things get a bit tough, there's a sense here that you're going to stay in control. The King of Cups is a very, you know, deeply emotional, compassionate, empathetic, intuitive energy. Somebody who can stay calm even when they're making really key decisions for their life and how to move forward. And it's almost like you have a realization this week what the missing piece was. And there's a sense here that it's within your grasp. So in that situation that you're moving away from, it's like the picture could never be completed. There was a fundamental cup missing. Now you've realized what it is, and maybe you've realized, hey, it's actually somewhere else. Page of Cups, somewhere I didn't expect it, or I know I will find it somewhere I didn't expect it. So I'm willing to take the journey, and I'm going to start that now. I'm turning my back on the situation, I'm disengaging, and I'm moving towards the Empress, who was underneath this card. She wants to create with you, and she wants to manifest your greatest desires. She is the biggest card of possibility in the tarot, and she stands for abundance, fertility, and blessings. So what you are looking for, I mean, I would call that wish fulfillment. She does want to actually bring your desires from the ether, from being an idea, from being a manifestation, to actually make them real. But there's a sense that it might be just beyond your comfort zone, just beyond the situation. But Scorpio, all eyes are on the Empress, and I think you're going for that direction. It's an exciting reading, Scorpio. There's a lot of powerful energy here. I think you're getting ready to build a new foundation, one that you can build the most stable tower that will be unshakable, that won't come down in the future. So go for it. Okay, Scorpio, that feels complete for me. I will leave it there. Do feel free to leave me a comment if this resonated. I read them all, and I do try and respond to them all as well. It helps me connect with your energies. Do keep in mind though, this is a general reading for a collective. It's not going to resonate with all of you, and I know that. It resonates for the person that is meant to hear this message this week. So if it doesn't, take what resonates, leave the rest, and it may be your reading next time instead. And I'll see you back here for another weekly message next week.